Okay, this is a little bit darker news. California mother arrested for using a $4.9 million police shooting settlement to purchase guns for her son's gang.
Okay, that sounds strange.
Moving on. All right.
Why do you think this happened?
Um.
Did the gang pressure her?
Well, no. I think she. Okay. I have a.
Maybe because of the illegal shooting, they felt
Oh
like
shit.
they needed to arm up even
Go
more.
away. Go away. Okay. So I have a friend who grew up in Southern California, and he was. All of his cousins were in gangs.
Okay.
Okay. I only point that out just because I'm trying to speak from a point of authenticity. I know what I'm talking about a little bit. Uh, a lot of the older parents and uncles, aunts have no idea that their kids are in gangs.
Really?
Yeah, from
Maybe
what
she
he,
didn't know she was buying these guns for gang members?
I don't know, but like the way he puts it is like, no, he said all my cousins were in gangs and all my uncles and aunts basically had no idea. They just believed that their kids were good little saints. They were just good kids. They had no
Wow.
idea that they were in gangs. So I want to believe that has something to do with it because I'm saying like I have a friend who's in gang culture, Southern
Mhm.
California, grew up in it, and he said all of his cousins were in gangs,
Hmm.
and he said none of the parents knew anything about it. They all believed that their kids were probably going to church every Sunday for whatever. That's
So
how I say
the
that's how
real sin
oblivious the
here is
parents can be.
the naivety.
They want to believe their kids are all good, that they're not in gangs. But let's
All
actually read the
right.
story. All right. Earlier this year, Christina Lopez received an almost $5 million settlement after the police killed her son in 2017. Now she's been arrested for allegedly buying guns for her son. I'm assuming other son.
Other son,
Yeah.
yeah.
And the California gang he was a part of. The Fresno County Sheriff's Office revealed they've been after the Calwa, maybe it's Calwa gang for a few months now, after one of them murdered someone back in July. What started as a detectives at the crime scene where a 52-year-old man was shot and killed turned into identifying a stolen video and surveillance video of potential suspects. All right.
Hmm.
Police were able to take the information to arrest an 18-year-old Richard Aguilar, good on you, of Fresno, California. Is Fresno Northern California or Southern?
Central.
Central. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Not
Central Valley, Center Valley.
okay. A SWAT team had to breach Aguilar's home because he barricaded himself inside, but he ended up surrendering. According to CBS, the murder of the 52-year-old man was a hit job ordered by a murder convict serving a lifetime sentence at Salinas Valley State Prison. All right. There's some
Where
questions.
does this come into her buying guns?
Not sure yet. What do you think about California's legal system, though? California has among the higher crime rates in the country, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So what?
I think so.
You remember how we covered that story on San Francisco's Cash for Criminals program?
Yeah, I love that story.
Yeah. Uh, do you think California in general has a pro-criminal attitude?
Mm, I don't. I don't know what to make of that. Really. Are they more lax? No, I don't think so.
They're not more lax?
I would definitely say they probably have more rules than maybe some other states.
What state do you think is the most lax on criminals? If you had to pick one, which state would you
Uh,
expect to be the most lax?
okay, so like everything goes kind of.
Like, yeah. It's more, it's total rehabilitation and look the other way. No criminal justice, no put them in prison sort of attitude, I guess.
Oregon, maybe?
Because they legalize all drugs.
Possibly. They don't want to arrest a ton of people for drugs,
Right.
so
Well, I would, if I had to pick a state, it'd probably be California. That or Utah
Okay.
for some reason.
More towards rehabilitation than just actual punishment.
Right. What do you think the purpose of criminal justice system is? Like, okay, so like, let's say punishment,
Make money.
private prisons.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but like, right. That aside, what do you think should be what should be the purpose of criminal justice? Is it
Rehabilitation, right?
Really?
That's the
Oh,
kind of idea is
I would say rehabilitation is secondary.
maybe in the U.S., not in Finland.
We covered that. That was good.
Yeah.
But no, not just like in terms of like I put punishment third, right? So punishment is third, rehabilitation is second. First is we have to house the more dangerous elements of society to protect the law-abiding citizens. It's not about punishing them. It's not about rehabilitating them. It's about let's keep the streets safe for the law-abiding citizens.
Okay, so keeping
Housing the
public safe.
Yeah, public safety is number one for criminal justice, and then number two would be rehabilitation. Like if you can turn these criminals around so they don't want to commit crime anymore, great. I'm more for that than just let's put them away forever.
Obviously, having someone in jail for a life sentence doesn't seem to be helping public safety because he's ordering hits from the inside.
Well, okay, that brings up the conversation about life imprisonment. Now, you're right, because this person was ordering hits. So that speaks to a higher problem in terms of just gang activity in prison. But the life sentence in general, what is your thoughts?
A life sentence?
Yeah.
I mean, I think if you've broken enough, laws, you deserve, or not. I'm wording this totally. If you done
did good,
if you done bad enough, then the jail it is for you.
This is the official
for life.
Alabama fucking podcast. If you done bad enough. No. Okay. Okay, so you do agree with the life sentence.
I think, yeah, and they're definitely for some people it's deserved.
You ever heard the statistic that like a life sentence is actually cheaper than capital punishment?
Than like the death sentence?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have heard that.
Yeah, because the
Just
appeals
of the
process.
cost of the injection, right?
Well, it's not the injection; it's the appeals process. I think something about that. Like when you have a
the
capital
lawyers.
punishment, you appeal, and that costs way more in terms of litigation than just serving out a life sentence. The injection itself, I don't think is that costly.
I think I heard that it was expensive, but
Really?
I'm not as well versed in that.
Shit, I can inject bleach in a guy and he'll die,
But you have to do it humanely, though.
but it'll kill COVID. All right.
Along with everything else.
Yes, I'm good with everything else. All right. Police were able to take the information to arrest 18-year-old Richard Aguilar. I think I read that part. According to CBS, the murder of the 52-year-old man was a hit job, according by murder convict serving a life sentence. Oh, I read that part too. Authorities managed to make a total of 14 arrests and seized 12 different firearms, resulting of cracking down on Kawa gang, including a gang member's mother for supplying the guns. Do you think she knew or not? Okay, these are the pictures of the gang members, I guess. Look at this dude's haircut.
He's got a straight bowl cut.
Oh my god.
The kid right below him, the Grayson Williams, he's got an interesting cut too.
Hey, he looks like a...
Richard Aguilar even kind of has a little bullish cut.
Yeah, but I'm still focused on this dude. This guy looks like he's in like a Mexican soap opera. That's a Arrested Development joke for anyone who's watched Arrested Development. But, okay.
He's
Dude,
Alvin
look at this
Arrested.
fucking dude. These two. How did these two end up in the same gang as all these people? These guys are way older and they look way more intimidating. Jesse Aguilar,
maybe,
a.k.a. Paya.
They run things a little bit more.
All right.
Who knows?
Maybe. All right. In April of this year, the city of Fresno paid 42-year-old Christiana Lopez $4.9 million for the death of her son, Isaiah. Oh, God. Murrieta
Golding. Yeah.
Golding. Jesus Christ. Half Mexican, half Jew. That sounded wrong, didn't it? Louis C.K.'s got a good bit on his special, hilarious, where like Jew is the derogatory term and the appropriate term in the same. It's just how you say it. It's like he's a Jew, or he's a Jew.
Yeah, isn't that funny? It's just the one word, the way you say
It's the
it.
way you say it. It becomes like a slur. It's great. All right. Yeah. He was 16 when he died. Separate from the gang members, 42-year-old Christina Lopez faces felony charges of conspiracy to provide firearms to a minor for the benefit of a street gang, conspiracy to provide a firearm to a gang member, and a child endangerment. So, all right. Given what I said earlier about the parents aren't really aware of what the kids are doing, would you think that this woman knew her kid was in a gang?
Definitely if she's giving guns to
But she did sue the county for $4.9 million.
That's true.
So she must have thought that her son was an innocent bystander in a conflict rather than a gang member being targeted by the police, right?
I guess you're right.
Or was she looking to just capitalize on the death?
I mean, maybe she was trying to protect the gang members from unruly cops, but sounds like they were up to some mischief.
Was it 14 arrests?
Yeah.
How many unruly cops did it take for that? All right. Separate from the gang members, 42-year-old Christina Lopez faces felony charges of... Oh, I read that part. God dang. Fresno County District Attorney Lisa Smitkamp said Christina Lopez was buying guns for her 14-year-old son. Lopez's defense attorney says she can account for all the purchases from the settlement money. That's not good. She has continued now to take the money from her settlement that she received from the city of Fresno to buy a home where she lives, in addition to spending thousands of dollars on guns that she has in turn given to... Come on. You don't buy guns, plural, for your son. 14-year-old son.
Yeah, this woman has some issues.
It's more than issues. Is this the woman, Christina Lopez?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's her. That's her. So where's the son? Lopez. Oh, her son was arrested?
I don't know if he got arrested.
But like that, there's
14.
no way that she didn't know, okay? So what do you think of that when she knowingly took $4.9 million from the city?
Uses it to spend thousands of dollars giving guns to her 14-year-old son.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't seem like the smartest parenting decision.
Isn't that the understatement of the year? All right. Christina Lopez's son was reportedly wrapped up in gang activity involving the July murder. Authorities say he gave the other members of the Kalwa gang the firearms his mother bought for him. That's the end of the article. All right.
There's no way she didn't know that he was giving. Yeah. No 14-year-old needs more than one gun or even should have a gun.
Going back to my friend who was in gang culture growing up, there's a certain mentality to the gang itself where they think of themselves as neighborhood protection. Like they're very community minded. It's like this turf belongs to this gang and this turf belongs to this gang. Now they're gonna make business, illegal drugs and whatnot, business in this area, but they're concerned about their community, and that's how they think. They almost think of it themselves as a neighborhood watch,
like the mafia.
Sure.
They're there to protect you from bureaucrats.
Well, the bureaucrats are one thing. I don't like the bureaucrats, but like, would you rather be ruled by bureaucrats or warlords?
Probably bureaucrats.
Really? Well, I'm not saying there's a good answer. I'm saying like I think you probably gave the better answer, but like, imagine your life if every decision was made by bureaucrats. Now imagine your life if every decision was made by a local warlord.
I just feel like I have a little bit more control in the bureaucratic situation.
I don't think you have as much control. I don't think it's about control.
You have no control on the warlords.
True.
You
but
might have some influence in the...
What if I give it my son? What if
Here's
I give
my finest daughter.
Oh no, I'm not giving up my daughter. I know what that leads to. You fucking animal. You kidding me?
What if he wants it? As a as your payment.
That's true. The bureaucrat's not going to come after my daughter. But I think you're kind of screwed either way in that kind of community, aren't you? If that was your choices between extreme bureaucracy or extreme like gang warfare, warlord.
Well, that's the thing is like a lot of these people that grow up in this area feel like they have no other route to go.
But you could do a better haircut at least, right? No, you're absolutely right. So that's the one thing that's a little weird to me, though. And let me tell you what I'm thinking. So Mexican gangs confuse me a little more than black gangs.
Really?
Yeah, because, okay, so here's what I've always thought about gangs. So a lot of gang kids, shouldn't say gang members or kids. A lot of the kids get involved in the gangs because they're looking for a sense of family, or they're looking for a sense of masculinity and guidance from a father figure. Now, the black fatherhood rate in this country, as anyone knows, is abysmal. So it makes sense that they're going to gravitate towards gangs. The Mexican gang culture doesn't make as much sense to me, really, because Mexican families, statistically speaking, are actually very stable. Families do stick together, so why join gangs? You have a family. So the black kids are joining gangs because they feel like they don't have a sense of family or community.
Maybe,
but Mexican kids, they have a family. Usually they have but then at the same time maybe they all are involved in the gang. I don't know, but it's confusing to me a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just not a family thing. It's just it's a poverty thing.
Well, why do you think someone joins a gang?
Because fit in, maybe also.
Well, you just said it.
To fit in.
Well, I mean, but that ties in more to what I was saying than what you just said. They're looking for bonds.
It kind of.
As opposed to poverty, I could just simply say, "Hey, I'm poor. I need the money. I'm going to join a gang." As opposed to they're looking to have a sort of a community, a family. I think that is probably, to me, that's at least the answer. They're looking
maybe
for
just a way of living, you know.
But yeah, okay, but what do you think it is between? What do you think drives gang membership more? A sense of belonging or a sense of money? It gets them ahead.
I think it's more I think it's kind of belonging, but it's also kind of like a peer pressure. Like, you know, they want to feel belonging, but maybe they don't want to join the gang. But because they've had so many other friends or family also join the gang, they feel like they have to kind of take the same path.
Yeah, but that's the sense of belonging I'm talking about. I think they seek out those familial bonds in gangs.
I do think it's more of a poverty thing, though.
It could be poverty.
Let's go like gang membership by country GDP.
Well, let's go just by state GDP. West Virginia is statistically the poorest state in the country.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's a rich gang culture. Are there neo-Nazis in West Virginia?
I don't know. It's actually, the problem with West Virginia is that it has
there's a lot of drug
addicts. A declining population.
It is one of the it's a declining population for sure, but like West Virginia is I've looked into this recently. West Virginia is statistically the poorest state in the country. It's also got a relatively low crime rate. I'm serious.
Yeah, it's an interesting state.
It's an outlier. I actually graphed the whole thing because I was curious, because everyone says crime and poverty, they're related. And then you look at it, and there's a little bit of a correlation there, not much. But like West Virginia is a huge fucking outlier. It's the poorest state, but it has a very low crime rate. So it's weird, right? I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's because the average age is so much older.
Could be. That's a good point.
As you get older, you commit less crimes.
Yeah. It's usually young males, like ages 14 to 22, some 24. I don't know.
Yeah.
That age group. If you can get rid of all the males between 14 and 24, you're good. You're good. Golden.
China failed to do that.